You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly, real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as the R&B King. Looking at the way things are going, the direction which the R. Kelly case is taking, and Jennifer Bonjean's arguments in her 60-page, a retrial and a subsequent not guilty verdict are indeed a possibility for Robert. The energy around the case feels good, and who knows? R. Kelly could walk away a free man if Bonjean can prove that her claims in the recent motion script are true. If it's true that the prosecution misused the RICO Act, and that some of the jury members had conflicting interests as stated by Kelly's attorney in her submission, this is likely to determine the 27 September New York verdict invalid, and turn the case around in an instant. Bonjean's claims are very serious and can prove damaging for the U.S. justice system if left unaddressed. If she turns out to be right, the only way the judicial system can remedy this is by indeed reversing the Brooklyn conviction, and this could mean R. Kelly becomes a free man again. Or at least gets another shot at battling the case. Meanwhile, he would have an even much better chance of being acquitted this time round, as he is one of the best lawyers with impeccable experience in cases like his. In fact, Bonjean's comments have made me understand why R. Kelly chose to remain mute during court. During the Brooklyn trial in September 2021. To everyone's surprise, R. Kelly, who everyone imagined must have been dying to speak out, instead turned down the call to take the stand and defend himself as a witness. Someone cracked a joke saying that by remaining silent, he gave the mute R. Kelly campaign what they wanted. Keeping his mouth shut after all. However, I now realize why he did this. It's possible that at some point, R. Kelly realized there was something wrong with his legal team and he felt trapped. Even if it were me, there is no way anyone would convince me to defend myself in such a case environment. Bonjean accuses the previous legal team of incompetence. She believes they should have been sharp enough to point out all these issues she is unearthing. Bonjean wants to know why Kelly's lawyers would looked on, while the jury was comprised of followers and lovers of the infamous show, Surviving R. Kelly. Something that means they were never the best candidates for the role. She also wishes to know why and how one of R. Kelly's lawyers was intending to serve two masters, both in the prosecution and defense camps without any sort of conflicting interest. If anyone was still doubting whether R. Kelly had a chance of regaining his freedom, reading Jennifer's 60-page motion could easily change their mind. Meanwhile, it's important to remember that a lot more is still coming from the smart musician turned attorney. It appears as if throughout the entire one-month trial that took place September last year, no one tried even an inch to get the prosecution to prove a thing of what they were saying. With Bonjean, however, they are going to be on their toes 90% of the time trying to defend, and subsequently prove their claims one at a time. This is exactly what R. Kelly is paying for, and gladly, he is finally getting his money's worth as legal counsel. It still beats my understanding though, how all 6 jurors could make such a questionable judgment as they did, all in consensus. With no single one of them coming up to suggest that they give it a second thought. Guilty in itself for any of the charges sounds unrealistic, but guilty for all 10 counts sounds ridiculous. While the previous legal team may claim that Jennifer Bonjean has thrown them under the bus, they are getting exactly what they asked for. These remarks by Bonjean match the talk that was going round social media, with fans labeling Steve Greenberg and company as a phony legal team that was instead working against the R&B King. So they shouldn't be accusing Bonjean of throwing them under the bus for something even fans could discover without any sort of legal guidance. Steve Greenberg and team need to know that eventually, it had to catch up with them the things they were doing. No one felt their presence on the case like we are already feeling Jennifer Bonjean, who has been quick to take charge, and attempt to drive the case in a completely different direction. According to LaWanda Smith. This reminds me of a funny video clip with this one lazy guy that will watch the others carry the load, and later pant like a dog as though he did most of the weight alone. I am sure after R. Kelly gets freedom, Greenberg's team will want to share in the celebration and take part of the credit, when all they did was look on in no defense as R. Kelly was being railroaded. I hope they know their place and let those who truly care take the pride for it. In one of HN's previous videos, Greenberg was described as an incompetent perpetual quitter of cases when they get heated and complicated. I now have no doubts about this. I took time to do some further research about him and it's so true. That's who he is. Always getting fired when cases are midway. According to Deontay, the part that annoyed me the most was hearing that one of the men that we expected to be defending the R&B king was also at the same time offering legal counsel to a prosecution witness. What a conflict of interest. I have reviewed conflicting interests throughout my life. I have never seen a case of this style and extent. It's even hard to imagine how such a thing can happen. Makes you wonder whether to blame only the old legal team, or the court authorities as well. How could they have missed this? R. Kelly deserves to be either retried or acquitted immediately. Otherwise, there is no way one can justify that he was given the fair trial he deserved back in Brooklyn Federal Court September 2021. Charging R. Kelly for violating the RICO Act is an indicator that either prosecution is not in touch with the reality on ground, or this was all deliberate in a desperate attempt to make sure R. Kelly gets the longest prison sentence. According to Nakasha, Robert is a very calm man. It was rather difficult for me to believe the allegations of kidnap and racketeering. These are not everyday crimes, and are certainly not meant to be on Kelly's list. Well, whoever smuggled these in the end is likely to regret how much time was lost defending these allegations. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.